Hello everyone. So today we will discuss about a new thing. We will know about a new thing, which is decorator. So what is decorator? Decorator is a function which passes another function as an argument. What did I say? Like decorator is a function which function passes another function as an argument. So you might think that this is something complicated. Okay, so after getting these things clear, decorator will be clear to you. Okay. So first we can see that here is a function call. This is a function call and here is some functions. Like this is a function, this is a function and this is a function. And this is a function call. So how this is work? You may think. So we will see like an example. So when our teachers takes our online class or we takes online class of our students, first teachers have to check, he or she has to check that the mic is properly working, the camera is working, or the internet is working. So first we have to check these things, and then we can access and we can take the online class. It's maybe history, it's maybe geography, it's maybe chemistry, whatever subject it is. But he or she has to check this first, that first the mic is working or not, the camera is working or not, the internet is properly working or not, etc. So decorator does the same thing. So here, these things, this is a function. So these things check that which type of work we did here and how it is work. Means it's checked first and the checking will be happened here. We will see very soon that what type of checking is happened here or the checking is happened here. And now the function is called here and then this is. We will discuss about this. So decorator is works like that. That if we want to check something before a function or before some more details to work, decorator will work like that. So now we can see something. Here is a function. This is also function and this is a function. Okay, let's open this. There is a main function which is def login underscore details. And here we can see there is something func which is object. You may think what is this? Because we used to see that there is int type or there is float type, string type, but we didn't see that object. What is this? Okay. So let's clear about these things. Okay, let's open this. Okay, before opening this, I will take about these things. Here I write something. This is running behind the scene. So first we take, here is a function. In this function there is another function whose name is inner. So first we declare this function, but if we didn't call this function won't work, because it's the process that we have to call the function first and then the function will execute it. So first we take a function in the wrap of this, and next in this function there is another function whose name is inner, and this function will not work. If it called, then it is work, but we can see that this inner function is we didn't call the inner function here. Then how it is work? Okay, let's see. And there is another function which is def view underscore account. And now we can see that there is something. This is the original function which I call by a decorator, like at the rate and this function name. This is how we can call a decorator function. So this is the decorator function and we call the decorator function here. And now we'll see how it is work. Okay. So first we can see this portion. There is a function and there is something which is object. And now we can see there is another function which is in the login details function. And here we write something we will talk about later. But now came to here. Here we return the function. So we didn't call the function anywhere. So how it is work? So when we returning the inner function, then it will execute it. And now if we when we returning the inner function means when we return a function, this function also return a function. Means this login underscore details function return the inner function. So when a function returns another function, this become a object. That's why I write here that this function returning a object. So what did I say? That when a function returns another function like its reference, then it's become a object. So this function returning a object value. And now came here. We'll see what happened in the behind the scene. So first we call the function that logging details, because when we call the function then the function will execute it, right? So first we call the function the login details, and in this function we call the another function which is view account. But in this function we passes this function as an argument. This is an argument, but this is a function and this is definitely a function. View account, this is definitely a function, but this function is passes as an argument of this function. So this is a thing, this is a separate thing, and now came to here. What is this object? This return inner function, this return inner function, when this function returning the inner function, this inner function will store here func underscore accept login, which is a object type, and this is a object because I said it that when a function return another function, so it's become an object, and this object will store here. This object will store here. So this is a separate thing and this is a separate thing. Now came to this part, this func part. So first we see that this function passes an argument, passes another function as an argument. So this function passes as the argument of this function, view account function. Means login underscore details function passes the view account function as its argument. So now this view account function will store here, will store in this func part. So first we call this function, then we call this function as an argument of this function, and now this view account function will store in the func part. So this is also a function, but when we didn't call a function, it won't work. So that's why we call function here. I think this up to clear to you. And now Now we came to here. So actually these total things will work in the behind the scene. We can't see this, but how it is work. But here in decorator person, if we write at the rate logging underscore details means we call this function only with the help of at the rate, it will work very easily. But these things is very important. It works internally. And now after calling this decorator function, then we declare a function which is view account and print this print this statement. And now we want to work this function. That's why we call this function, because without function call it didn't work. So now this is working. So let's see what is happening after run. Okay. So here it's want some input which is enter bank name. So let's come here. What did I write here? So first I write a bank name, bank branch and account number. And now we take a input of the bank name, bank branch name and account number also. And now we have to check here that if the correct bank name equal to the bank name. If it is correct and if these things will match with these things, then it only work and it shows logging successfully. But if we put the wrong input, then it will come here. So first let's try with a wrong input. Bank. Okay, this is a wrong input because this is another type, this is another type. Let's okay, come here. Please enter a correct information. Okay. So when we enter wrong inputs, the control come here. And in the else part, it skips the whole part and compiler come here and print this. Please enter a correct information. Okay. Let's run the code again. Okay. Now I will input the correct information. Bank and okay. Let's see after inputting the correct information, it shows logging successfully. This is the login successfully and welcome to your account means these things. So first it executed these things and then it executed these things. I think now decorator is clear to you. Okay. So next day we will talk about a new thing. It is a very interesting thing with decorator, and next day we will discuss about a new thing. Thank you so much.